welcome to a new series. And today I'm going to have a chat and a few drinks with two really good friends of mine, Penelope Prospere and Cooke. So I'm going to start with Caleb and asking him what is his business and what does he do.
Okay, so my name is Caleb Cooke. I am the owner, director, and pastry chef for Cooke's Finest. Cooke's Finest is a dessert company which I would have founded back in September 2011. And ever since then, it has been an interesting journey. And 2016, we made that move to open our cafe in Norville Center. And right now, we're just in the process of, just trying to perfect, our desserts, our recipes, and, to really create that brand of desserts in Barbados.
Well, thanks for that, Caleb. And Penelope, I'm going to call you Penny. Because that's how I know you. So.
I'm Penelope. I am the creative director, what I like to call myself, of Cooke. It's a jewelry design company. I also run Tis the Season homemade eggnog, which is seasonal like Christmas. And I'm hoping to expand that into summer beverage soon. But yeah, so I do jewelry and I make eggnog.
Yeah, so actually I see you're wearing one of your design collections.
All day, every day.
Okay, so we wanted to kind of, you had kind of went into where you started. What made you want, though, to start your own business?
I think I was more forced into it. I mean, me and Penny worked together at Red Jet, also you too. And, after, Red Jet closed, it was like, you want to find something to do. And I sat for a while. I was just trying to figure out what the hell to do, what I could possibly do to make money. And at that point, I would have started with fruit salads, and it started pretty good and everything. And then after a while, you just realize it's not bringing in money that you really want. So the next thing I looked and tried to figure out what to do is desserts, because back then, much people weren't making desserts. They were making things like coconut bread, sweet bread, and like bread type stuff. Jam puffs, and I wanted something that would make money, because those stuff, I told myself, you have to make volumes to make money from those. I wanted something that you can put a decent markup on and you get a decent profit on it. And it was cheesecakes and some nice gourmet cakes. So that is what eventually the avenue that I took.
And also I just wanted to add, make it quality desserts.
Yes, quality is very, very important.
Yeah. And Penny, for you,
I think kind of like Caleb, I was a little forced. But I didn't go into it. I used to do this for myself, because when I lived in Antigua, I was bored a lot. Well, I had a lot of downtime. I didn't really know anybody, so I was home a lot. Yeah. And I just used to be on YouTube, like watching videos and that kind of stuff. So I literally started making necklaces and stuff for myself.
I actually remember seeing you use paper clips.
Yes. And I've done paper clips, safety pins, paper, fabric, everything. And I started doing that maybe like five or 6 years ago, and it wasn't actually until last year when people kept saying you have to take this out of your bedroom, like take it out of your living room and like share it with people. And so last October I said, okay, I'm actually going to take the steps. I had already had a logo, but I hadn't been selling my stuff to like everybody. It was literally just friends and family who knew I was doing stuff. They call me up and say, okay, Penny, I have some place to go, what do you have? And it was that kind of thing. Because I never thought I could make money off of it. I was just doing it as like a creative outlet. Yeah. But I officially began pushing it as like a business last October. And then the eggnog I started 2 years ago. Okay. Again, same thing, just doing it because I missed having eggnog at Christmas. And Bajans don't really do eggnog. So out of a necessity to feel like I was back home, it was something nostalgic for me. Yeah. So I literally just started doing it, and people were like, you should sell this. I was like, no, this is just, I give it to my neighbors, I share it with my friends.
Any old tanty will tell you should sell this.
So literally, I just started selling it, and that was 2 years ago.
Yeah. So what were some of the challenges you faced in starting your own business? I'll start there, because I think I'm going to ask what are some of the challenges also faced running your business. But let's start like when you said, okay, well, I'm going to make this into a business. What were some challenges to start with?
First of all, I know nothing about business. I studied business for CXC, and that was the end of it. and I had no clue about like business plans and like capital and doing the accounting and all that. I didn't know I still don't know what I'm doing. So that's my biggest challenge, is literally knowing how to do the day in, day out running of an actual business in terms of dollars and cents.
Yeah, because for you, your business is very much a creative.
Yeah.
And I think even for you, I would label it as creative as well. Knowing how to make your product is one thing,
Yeah.
but to actually manage
To
your
run the
company
business, yeah.
and accounting and marketing of your business is another. For you, Kayla, what were some of the challenges? Outside of making, you can make a quality product, but then getting in there and managing it and growing it.
I think the challenge first was to make it, because when I started back in June 2012, I had the foggiest idea what the hell I was doing. Like literally, I never made a cheesecake. Growing up as a child, you probably baked a cake or two, it flopped. You still cut it up and eat it. But so for me, that was a challenge first, to make stuff. So when I did some testing, I would have taken it out to some people I know that was buying the salads from us. They tested and said it tastes nice, and from there you kind of tweak. And to me, like that process for the first couple of years, that trial and error process where you have to really fine tune and get the recipe correct and make sure you're baking the stuff correct, that took quite a couple of years to do and to make sure you come out good. And then the other challenge for me was decorating the cake, because I have no cake decorating skills. You never did any formal training, so everything was going on YouTube. You watch it and then you practice, scrape off all the icing off of the cake, you practice again. So that did took a while before you somehow mastered it. And as you said, making the thing is one thing, and I think that's a lot with a lot of small businesses today. They can make stuff, they can do stuff, but they can't necessarily manage a business, because managing a business is something completely different from making cakes, making jewelry and stuff. And even up to last year, one of my business advisors, who is an accountant, he went through with me on the correct way how you're supposed to cost your work. And I was actually costing my work wrong all of this time. Some of the things that you think that you were making a profit on, you had things calculated totally incorrect. So even up to last year, we've had the cafe running for like 4 years now, it was still a learning process for me, and going in more to the financial aspect of running the business. But on the day-to-day running of a business, I mean, some things came naturally, some things you have to work on as situations come, because it's a learning experience for you. There's no book that will tell you how to run a successful cake business or how to run a successful this, because you meet so much different problems and so many different avenues, and it's not a textbook thing. It's a thing to have a general knowledge and idea for. And one of the most important thing you're running the business, as I will always say, is to know your numbers and to treat your staff good. It's two very important things.
And you're saying that as well, getting yourself out there and marketing your business. How did you navigate that? Both of you.
Well, marketing would have really started through word of mouth, when we would have started the city fruit salads, and then we started the cake, and then you go and you let people sample the product, the work, and so on. So that was one of the main things that would have started. And then afterwards, I think that's when like Facebook ads and those sort of Instagram ads started coming in like way after, because they weren't a big thing back in the day. You also depend on like flyers, and going around to workplaces and just handing out stuff. Girlfriends Expo was a big advertisement thing for us too, because we've done that. I think we've done that every year. They started, except for the first year, because our first year we did Girlfriends Expo was in 2011. So I mean, like, all these different things are avenues, to advertise, and advertisement is a real costly exercise, because there were times when we even started Girlfriends Expo, we didn't make no money, but for us it was to advertise, it was to invest that, to get some exposure, and you hope that later on down, you get back the returns, basically.
And Penny, for you?
Well, my business is largely on Instagram. I kind of started branching out into Facebook a little bit, but I'm not really like a social media expert per se. So I'm still learning how to use social media to market my business, and that was one of my goals for 2020, was to really understand how to use social media to grow my business. But yeah, it's easier now than it would have been back in 2012 because we have so
Yeah.
many more avenues and Instagram and Facebook and these kind of things give you a lot better pricing than if you have to put an ad in the newspaper on any given day.
Yeah.
So we have a lot more options now.
Yeah. So your businesses were growing and developing along, and 2019 and the 2090 clouds, and 2020 is here.
Yep.
Exciting time, and COVID happens. How did that impact your business? I'll start with Penny.
Well, I think I felt like I was on an upward trajectory at the end of 2019 because I had, like I said, I had really started taking it seriously in October, and I was like, okay, if we're gonna do this, let's do it properly. So I was working on my branding, on my packaging, on social media stuff. I was really trying to collaborations with other creatives. And then 2020 hit with all my lofty goals, and it was just like all of a sudden in February, like the beginning of March, the world stopped. Like everything just came to a screeching halt, and there was nothing I could do about it.
Yeah.
There was absolutely, because people are not buying, especially for me, like buying earrings. People are not buying earrings when they have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So I mean, I still have some customers who's like, yeah, Penny, I still want them earrings though.
Yeah.
I may not be in Barbados, but I still want my earrings. But so I had to come to terms with that very early.
Yeah.
That whatever plans I had, shove them for a little bit, and hopefully we can pick back up later in the year.
Did you pivot into anything while?
Yes.
Yes.
So I actually I had gotten a sewing machine for Christmas, thank the Lord. And so I was actually able to pivot to making reusable masks, making fabric masks. And that's how I sustained myself for about 2 months. Was because I was able to do that. Had it not been for that, because then my regular job, I was no longer working. So that became my full-time source of income.
Yeah. And for you, Kayla? 2020.
Well, I mean, when COVID hit, the cafe had to close, unfortunately. But luckily, we still had the bakery, which was up and running. So customers could have still come to the bakery, following all the rules and stuff, and they was able to still purchase their desserts. Obviously, sales weren't out there. We would have expected it to be, but at the end of the day, once I could have paid my staff, once I could have paid the bills, and get a little something to eat, I was contented.
Well, you said the bakery's up and running. I remember seeing the lines for Easter and Father's Day.
No, Mother's Day.
Mother's Day, sorry.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Mother's Day. Mother's Day really took us by surprise. I mean, we had a line all down the gap,
Really?
but it was crazy.
That's great.
Yeah, but the sales for Mother's Day went good. Still as not as when it was in the cafe, but it was good. As I said,
I mean, it wouldn't have been your everyday regular business, but at least you had these two events that people
correct.
wanted to do something.
Yeah.
So, and I think for your setup as a bakery, I think there were allowances for bakeries to be
Yes.
open.
Yes, there were allowances for
Yeah.
bakeries to open.
Yeah, so you still had at least something going during as well.
Correct.
Penny mentioned something, and it actually made me want to ask this question. Throughout your business, how has it been collaborating with other entities and businesses?
Penny, go answer that question first.
I think for me, what I had to realize, because I'm usually by myself doing I'm my only employee,
Yeah.
which is great and which is bad all at the same time.
Fire her.
Yeah, sometimes I need a stern talking to. But the thing for me, the challenge for me is like figuring out like how to manage me and the business. And then I started realizing it can't just be me, because there are other people doing, like, for instance, my sandals. I was working on a collaboration, Earthy Collections. She does handmade leather sandals. And I was working on a collaboration with her to do some pieces, and we worked together because she actually has a storefront. So I was like, yeah, that's a perfect opportunity. I bought her products. I'm a fan, I'm a customer, and I recommend her all the time. So I was like, let's work together. So we had been working on something. And I found that's been a really good creative outlet for me, because it kind of pushes me a little bit, because then it's not just about me and what I want to make for myself, because usually that's how I start. But it's also about expanding the brand to other areas that I didn't originally think I could even think about.
Yeah. And for you, Mr. Cooke?
Well, I guess most of Barbados know who we would have partnered with before. And
Just have all the names.
no names, no names. Everybody know that what it is. The thing is, and this was actually my fault, because you go into a collab with some person and you forget, like, hey, let's get a contract drafted.
Right.
A contract is very, very important, even in doing collabs. You must have that. And because we didn't have, you know, the other person think that they can just take advantage of you and then change stuff, you know, as time goes by, and it's like, that's not what we agreed to. You know, we had a gentleman's agreement, but we didn't have anything written. So that is the messed up thing, and you know, everything just came crashing, tumbling down, and then I had to separate myself. And you know, it was a learning experience. And one of the things it taught me, besides making sure you have a contract, is it showed me the power of Cooke's Finest brand. Because when we were with the other company, we were more popular than them, and we have a stronger brand and presence than they did. And it was so crazy that persons thought that we actually owned the outlet rather than the other company. And it really made me sit back and realize, well, if we did this, and we was even selling all the products in this location, and we were doing so good, it shows me then that, okay, if I get my own space, it really showed me, you know, what power that we have and what we can do. So,
So I guess for you starting off, having a storefront maybe was not the easiest, or where you wanted to start first, because you had to build your brand before getting your storefront.
I've said this many a times. If I didn't have a presence in the market before, I think my business would have failed. I think it would have honestly failed. Having that presence before, and people know how the cake tastes and the quality of our product, and then you open the storefront, it really helped a lot. Really, really did.
Yeah. So going forward, because we are leaving this quarantine life, and going forward, what are some of the plans, and where do you want to take your business next?
I think for me, I had to get over, because I'm a party of one. I had to get over sort of, you know, the sky is falling. So kind of get my head right. And now that I feel like I'm in a sweet spot and I'm actually creating again, I actually want to start working on those collaborations again with a contract.
Yes, very important.
And I just want to kind of then work on like a website, so I actually have like, you know, presence online, a store presence online, and that kind of stuff. Because if COVID has shown us anything, is that all of these businesses that popped up during COVID, they could have happened before. But people just kind of needed that push, that, you know, to say, yeah, this is the time. There's no other time. There's no better time than now to do what you want to do. And so I want to get on that bandwagon and sort of ride that wave and hopefully grow my business. And then for my eggnog, on the other end, I want to introduce like a summer drink, so that I can do something not just at the end of the year, but something through the exactly. Yeah. So something during the summer, you know, people are home or they're going to the beach, they can grab something and take it to the beach and enjoy. That's sort of where my head is at right now. Hoping that they don't have a second wave, obviously.
As long
as there's no second wave.
That wave where it is, bro.
Yeah, hopefully we won't in Barbados, but for you, Kayla.
Going forward, I really need to expand. Maybe we need to expand beyond Bridgetown, because Bridgetown is so limited. So I mean, right now we're in the process of trying to do that, but as I was telling Penny, the uncertainty of how everything is now is, should I expand or should I just stay put? You know, it's that uncertainty over your head just clouds everything. But my thing is, you know, is to expand. Eventually hope to open something outside of Barbados, and just go from there.
Actually, you just mentioned outside of Barbados. I know that you have done some private catering and so on. Regional travel is not happening just yet. Have you been getting any calls from like clients that you would have gone to the different islands to work with, like, when this opens, or are they all just kind of selling right now?
Well, there's one client that I'm supposed to go back to, because she had opened a cafe, which would have really heavily catered to the university students in Nevis. But she's still open anyway, and I guess people from the community buy stuff and so on. But I guess once COVID has passed and the university's back up and running, we still have some tweaks to start out with the cafe that they open.
Yeah. And I know for you, Penny, you have people that buy your product from around the Caribbean. How has it been reaching them, and if they wanted any?
Well, one of my biggest pushes for 2020 was to expand my shipping, being able to ship, internationally, not just regionally, but internationally.
Mm-hmm.
Because of my previous job, the regional, getting stuff around regionally was a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So now I have to actually factor in, because now I'm actually paying full price for shipping.
Yeah.
I have to actually factor that into like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it is a major concern, because I want to expand. I mean, I've gotten messages and people reaching me from like Germany and London and like all over, and it's difficult now to even fathom that when I can't get like the basic supplies I need into Barbados. It costs so much money, and I'm not making that much money. So it's like trying to balance out how much money do I actually put into this, and how much do I expect to get out within a certain period of time, versus the actual day-to-day, because I still have responsibilities that I have to take care of outside of the business. So it really is a challenge to find that balance between putting money into the business and expecting a return within a reasonable amount of time.
Okay. Well, we're going to wrap up here. I want to thank you so much for doing this and joining me and being on my first episode of this series. I actually just thought of something and I would like to do, because we spent a lot of time training together, and we in Red Jack we're called rock stars.
Deb would like that.
Yeah, and actually, it's just a quick shout out to Deb, because look at the three of us are here together. We're still doing rock star stuff, Deb, and we want to, actually one of the things I think I learned from Deb, is to always carry yourself well and to keep trying and keep moving.
Yeah.
So hi, Deb.
Hi, Deb.
Anyway, again, thank you so much for doing this.
Hi, my name is Caleb Cooke. I'm pastry chef, owner, and director of Cooke's Finest. You can find us in First Floor Norman Center, that is our cafe, and you can find us online on our website at www.cookesfinest.com.
Prospere, owner and creative director for Belku Designs, which is a jewelry company. I'm also the owner of Tis the Season Homemade Eggnog. You can find me on Instagram at Belku, BEL_KOU on Instagram, and for my eggnog, it's Tis the Season Eggnog on Instagram as well.